Today we are going to know so many things about Albert Einstein, and the lesson which we are going to read today is a truly beautiful mind. As we have already discussed that for us, for everybody else, genius means a person who has a lot of knowledge, who is brilliant, who is extraordinary, who is not like other people. So for these all qualities were there in Albert Einstein also, so that's why we call him genius. So today we are going to read more about him. We shall now read about a young German civil servant who took the world by storm about 100 years ago. Took the world by storm means he did something revolutionary. He did something which was new for whole world. In the summer of 1905, the 26-year-old published in quick succession four groundbreaking papers. Now, what do we mean by succession? Succession means one after another. So, one after another, he published four papers. Papers actually mean for the scientists, like if some scientist does some study in some specific area, and he comes at some conclusion, and he makes some discovery, finds out something new, then they write it, and that is called their paper. And you must have heard that sometimes there are conferences, international or national conferences, where all these scientists meet and read out their papers. What do they do at that time? They share their knowledge which they have discovered. So this man, Albert Einstein, in the age of 26, wrote one after another four groundbreaking, means absolutely new thing he wrote in his papers. And about what it was about light, the motion of particles, and the electrodynamics of moving bodies and energy. His work took up only a few pages in scientific journals, and his papers were published in few journals, means you know that they are magazines. Specifically, they were scientific, based on science, but changed forever our understanding of space, time, and the entire cosmos. His papers were not so much popular, and they were not read by so many people. They had only they and it was on few pages of those journals, but they changed everybody's understanding of space, time, entire cosmos, because he wrote few things which were new and transformed the name Einstein into a synonym of genius. And this is the reason why we call anybody who is genius, we can call him Einstein. So this is the reason. So 50 years after his death, Albert Einstein's genius still reigns. Reigns means rules. Even after so many years of his death, nobody can deny that he was a genius, and his discoveries, his you know thoughts which were new for the world still rule the world. So let's read more about him. Albert Einstein was born on 14 March 1879 in the German city of Ulm, without any indication that he was destined for greatness. Now, when he was a young child, a small child, there was no sign of greatness. Means he was just a normal child. Actually, you can say he was not even normal child. He was considered to be a freak according to his mother. On the contrary, on the contrary, his mother thought Albert was a freak. Means he was not normal, he was abnormal. To her, his head seemed much too large, and his head was so large. It means it was not like other children of his age. So that's why his mother also used to call him freak. Now, at the age of 2.5, Einstein still wasn't talking. When he finally did learn to speak, he uttered everything twice. अब देखो ये भी abnormal चीज है that when he was 2.5 years old, he was not able to say anything, talk anything. Finally, when he started speaking, he uttered twice, means he was not able to speak properly. Everything he used to repeat for second time. Einstein did not know what to do with other children, and his playmates called him brother boring. Now this is very interesting that Einstein was not comfortable in talking to his other like friends or classmates or playmates because he felt uneasy with them, and that's why he used to play alone. So his playmates used to call him brother boring because he never was a good support and he never liked to play with them. Now this is a small story in the box, in the blue box, which tells something more about his childhood. Otto Neuberger, the historian of ancient mathematics, told a story about the boy Einstein that he characterizes as a legend. Now, obviously, his mother calls him a freak, but actually, you will learn that he was not a freak. There was something different in this child, but that seems fairly authentic. As he was a late talker, his parents were worried. He didn't start talking at the right age when the children start. He started talking late, so his parents were worried. At last, at the table, one day suddenly when he started talking, वो movement क्या थी? At last at the supper table, means dining table, one night he broke his silence. He started speaking, and you know what was his first word? Not even word. He spoke a full sentence. The soup is too hot. Greatly relieved, and parents were so happy that he finally spoke something. His parents asked why he had never said a word before. They asked him that why never spoke anything before that. And finally, when he spoke, this whole sentence. Albert replied, because up to now, everything was in order. That till now, everything was going on good, but today it's not good because you have done something bad by giving me hot soup. So, this was a really funny incident that he never spoke clearly, but finally, when he spoke, what did he speak? The soup is too hot. So this was the incident which is told by an ancient historian. So he played alone much of the time. He especially loved mechanical toys. Now this is also funny. How this is funny? Just let's read it. He especially loved mechanical toys, means like cars or other maybe some other kind of toys which are mechanical, which are not like teddy bear or other toys which normal children play with. What happened? What was the impact on his mind? You can see that from the beginning he was interested in different things. When he saw his little newborn sister, means looking at his newborn sister mother, he is said to have said. Now, what did he say? Fine, but where are the wheels? Now, see, when he saw his sister, he said that where are the wheels? Because he was too much into the mechanical things. He was too much interested in the toys which are mechanical. He never, thought about general things in the life. Now, what happened in his life after this? A headmaster once told his father that what Einstein chose as a profession wouldn't matter because he will never make a success at anything. Now, see how disheartening statement was given by his headmaster. He told his father that, see, it doesn't matter which profession your son chooses, he will never be able to be successful because he is good at nothing. Obviously, it shouldn't be said. Einstein began learning to play the violin at the age of 6. because his mother wanted him to. Now, what happened? He started learning violin at the age of 6 when, because his mother wanted him to. But see how good he was at doing things. He later became a gifted amateur violinist, maintaining the skill throughout his life. Amateur means a person who has the hobby. Means just by interest he became violinist. He was not professional violinist, but he was so good at this. But Albert Einstein was not a bad pupil. He was actually not a bad student. He went to high school in Munich, where Einstein's family had moved when he was 15 months old. They used to live in Munich when he was 15 months old because his family shifted there. And he scored good marks in almost every subject. He got good marks. Then Einstein hated the school's regimentation. Now, this is the thing with which everybody can relate. That this is like this quality is like you can say not quality. This trait is like everybody else, like other people, other children. He hated the school's regimentation. Regimentation means discipline, army-like discipline. He hated the army-like discipline at his school and often clashed with with his teachers. And he also had one or other argument with his teachers because he never liked so hard discipline in the school. They were so strict. At the age of 15, Einstein felt so stifled. Stifled means suffocated. He couldn't bear it anymore. So he left the school when he was 15 years old. And the previous year, Albert's parents had moved to Milan and left their son with relatives. After prolonged discussion, Einstein got his wish to continue his education in German speaking Switzerland in a city which was more liberal than Munich. Now, what happened? When he left the school, one year back, actually, Albert's parents had already moved to Milan, but they had left their son with their relatives so that he can continue with his studies. But after a long discussion, Einstein got his wish true because he wanted to get an education in German speaking Switzerland because it was less disciplined place, because this place was more liberal, more freedom was there, and he hated regimentation. So he wanted to take admission in some university in Switzerland because there was more freedom. So this is how the life changed for him. Now Einstein was highly gifted in mathematics and interested in physics. And after finishing the school, he decided to study at a university of Zurich. After finishing his study, he decided to continue his study in the University of Zurich. But science wasn't the only thing that appealed to the dashing young man with the walrus mustache. Walrus, all of you know that it's a sea animal, and it has certain style of you can say mustache. So same kind of mustache were kept by Einstein, and then finally he started studying at University of Zurich.